Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sana Rahman, and I'm really grateful to be here amongst so many experts in these valuable fields. Oh, wait, we're going that way. So I'm a licensed therapist, and my work focuses on helping people navigate mental health in the modern world, a world where constant stress and being on alert have become the norm. In my practice, I work with people navigating trauma, perfectionism, and high-functioning anxiety, many of whom look like they're doing completely fine on the outside, but inside are really burned out. What I've come to realize in my clinical work is that we can't treat mental health in isolation. Mental health symptoms are not always mental in origin. So today I want to challenge all of us, especially those in the patient care space, to rethink that wellness equation. So for too long, we've pathologized symptoms that are often physiological responses to modern life. So anxiety from chronic stress, poor sleep, and constant nervous system dysregulation from addictive habits like doom scrolling on our devices. I hear so much self-blame from my clients, guilt over being anxious, shame about not being grateful enough, and a lot of my work is actually centered around deconstructing shame. A renowned sociologist, Dr. Brené Brown, says that guilt can sometimes be useful. It can help us recognize where we've fallen short. But shame convinces you that you are the problem. It isolates, it erodes self-worth, and often the shame is the very thing that fuels the behaviors you're trying to change. So I always tell a lot of my clients there's no place for shame in your life. Right now, we're seeing record levels of stress and burnout across the country. There's a Harvard physician, Dr. Aditi Nerurkar, who has really valuable research on stress, and she distinguishes between two types of stress. So there's healthy stress, that's the stress that motivates, it moves your life forward. And then there is maladaptive stress, and that's the type of stress that can leave you feeling paralyzed. Now, thinking we're going to get rid of stress completely is just plain unrealistic. It would be nice, but it probably won't happen. So what we can do is help reduce the maladaptive load that people carry every day, and that starts by simply making them aware of these topics, teaching them while reminding ourselves that we need to prioritize rest as a biological necessity rather than a nice-to-have luxury. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the gut-brain connection, as Mr. Abaji mentioned. Your gut isn't just a digestive powerhouse. It's actually, it houses up to 95% of your body's serotonin production. It is also home to the second largest network of neurons, second only to the brain. So this means that your gut and brain are in constant dialogue, influencing each other through a powerful feedback loop. When you're under chronic stress, your gut's going to feel it. When your gut is out of balance, it can tank your mood, your energy, and your emotional resilience. Supporting gut health isn't just about digestion, it's a key step in restoring balance to the entire mind-body connection. Okay, so we've established the connection between health and nutrition. However, your mental health is also deeply intertwined with your sleep and your movement and your nervous system regulation. If your nervous system isn't safe, your mind isn't going to feel safe either. Our fight or flight response was never designed to run 24/7, but for a lot of people, for a lot of my clients at least, that's how it feels. Dr. Ranjan Chatterjee is a British physician and the author of the 4-Pillar Plan. He's really impacted my work as a therapist. He emphasizes the importance, as you'll see on the slide, of your food, your movement, your sleep, and your relaxation habits, and how improving these over time can lead to better overall wellness. And we'll come back to these pillars shortly. I want to share a case from my practice, one I see often. So she's the eldest daughter in a Muslim household, a role I see very often, especially among first-generation and second-generation clients. She was trying to navigate college with an intense internal pressure to perform while trying to balance familial responsibilities and personal relationships, and the compounding pressure of all of that led to anxiety attacks and chronic stress. When we zoomed out, we noticed a clear pattern. There was excessive caffeine intake, erratic meals, doom scrolling late into the night, and then no safe outlet for her to be able to process some of these thoughts. So her body wasn't necessarily sick, but it was stuck in what we call survival mode. And here's the thing, so many of my clients especially want to have the solution. They're like, okay, so now what do I need to do to feel better? And they just want me to give them the solution so they can move on. Again, high functioning clients, right? A lot of us can probably relate to that, but we need to make the awareness the first step. And so I think that that's the main area my work focuses, is just raising awareness to the alarm bells that are going off in the body. So I often bring up the concept of 1% changes with my clients. It's a idea from a popular book, Atomic Habits, and that idea is that small incremental improvements, when compounded over time, lead to significant results. And in this client's case, we worked on stabilizing her nutrition, cutting back on caffeine, creating a proper wind-down routine that helps promote better sleep, and these changes combined with regular therapy helped her symptoms decrease significantly. Now, I'm not a dietitian or a sleep coach, but more than I ever imagined I would discuss with my clients when I first started training as a therapist, my work greatly overlaps with those pillars we just discussed. So if your food, your nutrition, your movement, your relaxation habits are out of balance, that entire system is going to suffer. Therapy is powerful on its own, but it's even more effective when we pair it with education about the body and how small, sustainable shifts can have a huge effect on the entire system. And I want to take a moment to speak on the importance of normalizing mental health care, especially in communities like ours. It's actually one of the main reasons I agreed to speak today, because I wanted to destigmatize the idea of therapy. And I go over this in almost all of my consultations with clients that are often a bit weary because they are still navigating the cultural stigmas around mental health. Therapy isn't just something to turn to in a crisis. It can be a part of a very healthy, regular self-care routine, similar to other services that we might schedule for ourselves. It's maintenance for your mind, your emotions, and for your nervous system. And therapy is just one tool in that toolbox. It's more powerful when paired with lifestyle shifts and education about the body. So I wanted to take a moment to relate this to our practice as Muslims. When we talk about nervous system regulation, we're also talking about something spiritual, how we anchor ourselves in something that is bigger than us, and how remembrance creates physiological ease. So one of my favorite verses in the Quran is, "Verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." This is one of the most direct references to emotional regulation in the Quran. It reminds us that spiritual remembrance is rhythmic. It slows the breath, it quiets the mind, it co-regulates your nervous system. And the point is, when we're anchored in something deeper than our stressors, we actually find true rest. So, if you remember one thing from my presentation, it's this: mental health isn't just in your head, it's in your habits, it's in your nervous system, your food, your relationships, and your rest. These are the foundations I try to integrate in nearly all of my sessions. I return to it often. I know my clients are sick of me asking them about their 4 pillars, but I really believe it's that important. If one of these are out of alignment, it can throw off the rest. But the reality is that all of these symptoms become even more complex when layered with barriers to care, as you've heard earlier. Stigma, cost, cultural disconnect, and then lack of access to quality care really disrupts a lot of people from even getting access to the care, but it also keeps them from reaching out again if they've had a bad experience. And I really, really hope that collectively we can step beyond seeing people as their diagnoses and start seeing them as ecosystems shaped by both their biology and their environment. Jazakallah. Thank you so much for listening, and these are a couple of resources that I might have alluded to earlier, in case anybody wants to take a picture. Thank you.